Hi, I'm Jake and O. Welcome to the Leadership Roundtable, where we answer the most common questions that we get from parents about how do they prepare their kids to be most successful for the future. This week, we wanted to look at a big question a lot of people are asking, and it's, what is the most important skill for my child to learn to be successful? And this is a really hot topic because over the past decade or so, a lot of people have been reevaluating the school system in college and looking at its effectiveness. In 2014, a Gallup poll interviewed a bunch of employers, and 89% of them said that graduates don't have the right skills to be effective in the job place. So I went around and I looked at a bunch of articles looking at what the different skills are that are important, and a lot of them say things like problem solving, critical thinking, social skills, technology skills, homemaking type of abilities. And I found another research from a college association where it says 91% of employers think that this critical thinking is actually more important than degrees. So what we wanted to do today is I wanted to bring Dr. Jacob and Joe to the table and hear their answers about what they think is the most important skill for kids to be successful in the future. So why don't we start with you, Dr. Jacob?
You know, when I look at all the different skills out there, Jake, I think the most important skill a child could learn is actually being able to open their eyes and see reality, or to see what's actually going on. Nowadays, so many people, when they open their eyes, they have so many thoughts in their head. Instead of seeing what's actually there, they just see what's in their mind. And I always tell my students, what's more important, what's in your mind or what reality is? And so often today we're having people voice their opinions, and their opinion is really important, which it is, but it's more important than knowing what you think about life. It's knowing what's actually going on. This is quite a difficult skill to quantify or to even identify.
Yeah.
But it's so rare that we teach children to differentiate between what they're thinking and what's really going on out there.
This is like expectations versus reality.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
And it's a very difficult skill to develop. If you develop it at a younger age, it's easier for children to start to differentiate between what they thought versus what's really going on. But I picture it like being in a house that's really dark. When you're going through a house that's dark, you can't see what's there. You don't know where the walls are. You don't know, the different things on the floor that you could run into. And if you're going through life like that, being dark, not being able to know what's really there, then it makes going through the house and going through life very difficult.
Yeah.
Running into a wall is very painful. And so and that's the thing is, as a child develops the ability to see what's going on, then it allows their life to be a lot easier. And it allows them to be able to know what they can do to add value to it.
Or like knowing what will actually make them happy.
Yes.
You see a lot of kids who get into a degree or they'll study something they think, oh, I really love this. But the reality is it doesn't fit them and it doesn't make them happy.
Yes.
Yeah. It's interesting. So then I think a big question that people would have is, how do you teach that skill? Can you really teach somebody to see reality?
This is, it's a very difficult skill for someone to learn. There are certain things that you can allow your child to do to help them develop learning about what's real or what's not. The first is, in order for a child to figure out what's actually going on versus what's in their mind, sometimes they actually have to try out what's in their mind out. So often we don't want children to make a mistake, and so we kind of force them in a direction. And in their mind they're thinking, why do I have to do this? I could have gone all these different ways and I would have been better off. And so they never differentiate between was what was in their mind accurate or not.
Makes a lot of sense.
And so one of the things that parents can definitely do to teach their children to learn reality is allow them to make some mistakes. Especially when there's not a lot of physical risk or, long-term risk to the child.
Yeah.
If the child is thinking something in their mind and you as a parent see that's not reality, well, let them try it out. I remember my mom when I was younger, I kept thinking, I can put water in Cheerios and it will taste good. And I kept thinking that in my mind. And my mom was smart enough to say, hey, that's not going to be good, but let him try it out. And so, I got a big bowl of Cheerios and I put water in it. And of course she made me eat it all. But you can bet that after that, I knew
That's an
for
unforgettable
a
lesson.
fact that you never put water in cereal. It doesn't taste good.
That's the lesson for today. That's the reality. Water doesn't go in cereal.
No, it doesn't.
That's a good one.
But that's something that you can do to help your child develop it.
I love that.
Is let them make some mistakes and figure it out and realize what was in their mind was not really.
It's really testing out what's in their mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Giving them freedom.
I like that. Well, Joe, let's jump to you. What do you think is the most important skill for a child to learn?
Well, I think it goes a lot along with Dr. Jacob. I completely agree with his answer. And one of the things I like to teach is asking for help. And throughout a course of a child's life, they're going to go through a lot of different issues with socially, with family, all these different types of things, school, career-wise. And the biggest thing that a child can learn is when they're in trouble to go to and ask for help. And nowadays, as parents, we like to tell our kids, you're going to have to learn how to do it on your own. You're going to have to learn how to do these things.
Yeah.
But as I grow up and I learn and I see these kids, you start to realize that the most needed help is that they need to ask for help. And as they learn to ask for help, they'll actually learn and develop these skills that will allow them to be successful.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a key attribute in any type of business, any type of job role, anything they do in life. They're going to need to learn how to ask for help.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a misconception in parents when we tell our kids, hey, you can't ask for help all the time. Because in the real world, we actually do ask for help more often than not, which is kind of interesting.
That's such a... we talk about this in the program all the time, that a company isn't ever just one person. It's an entire group of people all helping each other.
Yeah.
And amazingly, if a child learns to ask for help at a young age, asking for help, that person usually is more understanding about life.
Yeah.
And so if they're willing to be open for advice and getting help from others, they actually learn how to tell what's real quicker.
Yeah, we kind of go together.
Yes.
That's really interesting. So it's, if a child is going through issues, they either have two options. One, they have to experience it firsthand and test out if what is in their mind matches reality. Or two, they have to find somebody who has a better idea of what reality is, so they can guide them there.
Yeah,
Definitely.
That's really interesting. It's kind of interesting because to unite both of these things, it seems like in the school system and really online, a lot of people are focused on, hey, here's this list of curriculum, here's these lists of skills.
Yeah.
But it's impossible to teach a child all these skills. It seems like the only way to really help someone is to give them the knowledge on how to learn and how to figure it out themselves or utilize other people to figure it out.
Definitely.
So, thank you so much for joining us this week. Please subscribe, like our videos, and post any questions below, and we'll be happy to feature them on our next video. See you next time.
Thank you.